Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome back to Final Trade. I wanted to have a talk about the Pokemon market, where it's come from, where it is now, and where it's going probably just into this summer. We had the situation in late 2021 in this time period that I've highlighted here, where Pokemon USA wanted to release Celebrations, their 25th anniversary set, and they wanted to give it kind of room to breathe and for people to enjoy it. Imagine that, a company that wants to release a great product and give the market enough time to really absorb it and enjoy it before coming out with the next release. And because this was 2021, the market was already pretty thin on product at that point. And so there really wasn't enough of these previous sets, Darkness Ablaze, Vivid Voltage, Shining Fates, and those others, to go around at the time. But Pokemon USA made a decision at the time to withhold reprints of those other sets out of the market until Celebrations had its time to really be celebrated. And then in the early part of November of 2021, they dumped at once 6 expansions worth of reprints onto the market at about the same time that Fusion Strike released. And so you had this huge amount of inventory come onto the market all at once, just absolutely drowning it. Those were the glory days afterwards of $80 Chilling Rain boxes, $80 Battle Style boxes, $90 Fusion Rain boxes, Fusion Strike. And you had a video back then where Mason from Cardinal Gaming, he talked about one of the deals that one of his distributors was trying to offer him, where he could get maybe a case of Evolving Skies, a case of Chilling Rain, and it would only require him to buy scores and scores of boxes of Fusion Strike. There was so much Fusion Strike in the market. It was just drowning at the time. But what that caused is late in 2021 for the Pokemon market to really hit bottom. And since then, it's been on the upswing. It's been on the upswing now for 18 months. And that's something that we kind of lose track of when we then, after that, got into the cruel summer of 2022 with Magic, with the culmination of weak sets, poor decisions on WotC's part, way too many releases, way too short of a time in between them, card stores having to start capitulating, dumping product below wholesale, followed by WotC dumping product below wholesale on Amazon, on and on and on. And it's easy to lose track of the fact that during this time period, the Pokemon market was strengthening through all of 2022. And it kind of gets us into where we are today with these current prices on booster boxes. And something that I think we've kind of incorrectly focused on in the last 5 months is the lack of new supply of booster boxes to the market. And I know I've certainly been guilty of this, where I've emphasized again and again, where are the booster boxes? Why are these prices? Well, by now they've kind of stopped going up. They've consolidated for the last 2 months. But something I realized is Pokemon has still been printing. Obviously, they've still been printing because Scarlet and Violet is 106 on TCG Player today. Pre-orders of Paldea Evolved are 113. So obviously Pokemon USA is printing something. But the thing that had kind of escaped me for too long was that, yeah, they were printing all of those Brilliant Stars stadiums that had flooded the market for so many months. All of the ETBs that we bought at near cost and sometimes below cost. They had been printing all of the bundles, and they had been printing all of those delicious, delicious Costco boxes with things like Evolving Skies for $3 a pack in them. So that's what the printing presses had been focusing on for the last, say, 8-9 months, because there's a little bit of lag between actually printing the product and getting it to the market. And what we saw was a lack of restock of the complete booster boxes. But the booster packs that should have gone into those boxes were going into these other more premium, higher margin products. And we kind of see the evidence of that if we look specifically at Evolving Skies. I've just kind of arbitrarily chosen Evolving Skies because it's had kind of the most manic history of the recent past. And I've zoomed out this chart here to the last 6 months, and we can see 2 months ago it peaked and it's trended sideways. We see that price there of $3.93 per box about 2 months ago, and today it's $3.88 when you factor in the shipping. So it's basically trended sideways for 2 months now, and that's because Pokemon USA did print tons of these old Sword and Shield sets. these, say, last 6, 7, 8 Sword and Shield sets out of the 12. They printed a lot of it. They just didn't print it as booster boxes. And I think that we, and me included, kind of missed that point for too long. Even while I spent November through April and even more recently buying things like V boxes, collections, bundles, ETBs, and stadiums, and breaking that stuff down into booster packs and getting all this great inverted EV against the booster pack price. I still didn't even realize during that time period, oh yeah, that's what the printers have been doing. And so when we wonder, what are they doing? That's it. They were making all those products. And now it's going to take time for all of that to flush out of the system. And that's why we've seen this consolidation more recently. That's why we've seen these prices halt. For about 2 months, they've been trending sideways on all of these boxes. And on some of them, they've come down a respectable amount, like Brilliant Stars. It's come down about $20, $25 in the last 2 months. But that's because there were so many ETBs and stadiums out there to be cracked and to be sold as individual packs. And we can just go and look at that. We'll see all of these offers of loose Brilliant Stars boosters, loose booster packs, loose boosters, on and on and on. And that's where a lot of this money is going into recently. And because of the vulnerability of Pokemon packs to weighing attacks, there's a discount for these when you sell them on a place like TCG Player. And the same thing with Evolving Skies. You see just offer after offer of 36 loose booster packs, booster box equivalent, at a discount. But don't worry, the market will burn through it. If you're like me and you're sitting on many booster box equivalents of these great Sword and Shield era sets, keep holding. The market will burn through them. Prices will rise. Every day, some number of these disappear. We see already today 3 of these Evolving Skies unopened booster boxes. Yesterday, it was 6 of these equivalents, 36-pack combos disappeared. And before that, on the previous day, 4. So every day, some of it gets bought up, it gets opened searching for Moonbryon, and the sweet, sweet opportunity of getting a graded 9 or 10 Moonbryon and making $1,000 off of that. So these prices are probably not going to go down appreciably. And what are they going to do in the near future? It's an interesting question. I've had a lot of people in the last 9 months, both patrons and just people on YouTube in the comment section on my videos, all express that they have reallocated some, or even in dramatic cases, all of their Magic investment money to Pokemon. And I did the same thing, but for somewhat of a different reason, not because I don't trust WotC or they just have an incredible, nearly unbroken streak of slamming their dick in the card door, but it was because of an analysis I did last September and October where I showed that standard Magic booster boxes over the last 20 years barely beat the S&P 500. And Pokemon boxes, essentially, if you invested in Pokemon boxes over the last about decade, you beat the most legendary hedge fund managers in all of Wall Street history by simply taking boxes full of cardboard squares with pictures of fighting animals on them and putting them in your closet. So that's why I shifted some money away from Magic into Pokemon, but I've had a lot of people express that they took money that they would have allocated to Magic, shifted it towards Pokemon through late 22 when the sentiment towards WotC was getting the worst. And now you could see that as a reason why, additionally, Pokemon did so well in 2022. There was reallocation of money into it that had not been there before. Now, I expect that to start swinging back the other way. WotC is slow, they make bad choices, but ultimately you can't expect them to be stupid forever. You can't expect them to not right their ship forever. They will eventually make changes and right the course. And so we see that already. Print runs appear to be getting somewhat tightened. Distribution is maybe a little more disciplined. Aftermath is definitely not a good sign, but otherwise it looks like they're making changes in the right direction. And so I would expect some of that money to start coming back away from Pokemon and towards Magic. I expect that it's already been happening and that it's going to continue to happen and probably accelerate over the summer. And when we look specifically at WotC and the products they're bringing out this summer. We have Lord of the Rings on June 23rd. That's a little over a month away. And a mere 6 weeks after that, we have Commander Masters. And a lot of people, when they look at, do I want to buy boxes of those two releases or buy more Pokemon, they're probably going to go for Magic. It's certainly the much more exciting releases than what Pokemon is going to be putting out. Pokemon is very consistent. They're not very exciting. Magic is definitely putting out some exciting releases this summer. So I expect more of that money to shift back over towards Magic that had shifted away in the last 9 months. And the reality is, if you watch Hasbro's conference calls, Magic is doing great. It's making more money than ever. So money is still there, and it's going to continue to go into Magic, and I think it will go into Magic at an accelerating rate this summer. So I expect in the near term, what we'll see is these prices, they'll hang around here, but there is a lot of product in the market. There's copious amounts of product of all of these Sword and Shield sets. It all got reprinted in bundles and ETBs and stadiums and Costco boxes and everything else. There's tons of it out there. It's going to take time for the market to burn through it, and I expect the amount of money that goes towards Pokemon in the next several months is going to decrease. So, if you have waited on putting in a position on any of these and you'd still like to get it, I think this summer there's plenty of time to do it. I would not wait into the fall, because after Commander Masters, we're going to have to see what WotC can bring in the fall. We're going to have the next Eldraine set, and we'll find out what happens after that. But for now, I think we're not going to see a huge, another dramatic leg upwards in these Pokemon booster box prices. They have been coming upwards since essentially December of 2021. They've been on a long rise that we just might have forgotten about from time to time because of all of the antics out of WotC taking the attention away. So that's what I think. The prices are good. They're going to remain around here for a while. It's really good to see Scarlet and Violet at 106 and Paldea Evolved pre-orders at 113. I think those are very healthy prices for an online marketplace. It means that card stores in person can sell a bit higher than that, make some decent money, and stay healthy and keep supporting the community. So let me know what you think, guys. Any opinions you have on this, any other pieces of the recent history I may have forgotten, let me know. Otherwise, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Join me on Final Trade. Join the Patreon.